the South women are not lazy.
Somebody's crying, Bolo. Somebody's crying, Bolo.
Hi guys! Welcome back to the channel.
Yeah. We're happy having you.
So guys, today we are going to be talking about what it is like to be a woman in the south of Nigeria.
Yeah.
I've heard so many stereotypes about people in the south, right? Mm-hmm. Particularly Ibibio people.
Yeah.
Now, obviously I don't live in Nigeria.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I want to know, what is it like to be a woman in the south of Nigeria?
Alright, so what is it about to be an Ibibio woman in the south side? I think it's about Ibibio woman is a woman of good character. They are strong and they like to work so hard to keep their own homes. They take care of their children and they are also very hardworking. I mean, they're so into a lot of trades because here we have so many occupations like farming, into palm oil and canal business, and also is a lot of fishing because here in Ibibio in the south side, a lot of riverine areas, so we have so lot of fishes. So most of them trade in fish. Some of them even, they also used to go fishing. You can see like in the Ibno aspect.
Yes.
Where there is water and by acres access, you will see women go to fish, crayfish. They will just be standing. Yes, they will throw the nets on the sea and they drag a lot of crayfish. So women in this area, they are very strong and are very hard.
So when you say strong, what do you mean by strong? Are you talking about physically strong? Are you talking about emotionally strong? What kind of strong?
They are, I would say emotionally strong and also physical strong, because for a woman to do what men
can do.
But is that
like,
a good thing? Is that a good thing though? Is it a good thing?
Yes.
For a woman to do what men do?
What yes, what man does, because it's not easy to fish, and it's not every other women can fish. I mean, you paddle boats. Some of the women in this south side in Ibibio, they will sit like I personally. I know how to paddle boats. I will just sit and I will paddle, control the boat. So a man can just sit and I will control the boat. So this is mainly
and that's where it comes to my point. Is that a good thing?
Yes. It's a good thing.
No, is it a good thing? You just said, right?
Yes.
And the man will just sit.
A man sits.
Will sit in the boat.
Yeah, you sit.
And
it's just sitting.
Why is a woman that is sitting on the control section of the, and then you use natural strength to paddle. So, and this is not engine. I mean, it's just natural. So this is what women in this area do. I personally, I do it. And you see, in the fishing aspect, women, the big women also know how to sew nets, these fishing nets.
And you know what you said? Okay, so you said that the woman will be controlling the boat using her physical strength, and the man will just sit. My orientation, growing up in the Western world, that would be very strange. That a woman is using her physical strength and the man is not.
The thing is that, if I may comment, not just sitting, just sit like that. You get. The man would also be doing something. What she is talking about is the south women are not lazy.
No.
Isn't it?
No,
they are not lazy.
They're not.
Because we are into everything. Like she mentioned. Like, personally myself, I can't just sit and watch my husband do everything. You get. I'm into teaching, I'm into farming. I go to this, I go to that, I do this, I do that. All for what? For ends to meet. Now, in a situation where the south women generally, you sit and allow your husband to do everything. Man,
no, I'm not talking about sitting and allowing your husband to do everything. For me, it just sounds strange that there's a pride in being strong.
Okay, the price of being strong.
The pride in being strong and doing what men do. So what are the men doing? That's the thing. And also, given we know what the stereotype is of the men in the south.
Now, the aspect of saying that a woman is strong, I can testify to it that if we are not strong, if the women are not strong, do you think of when the man is not there? So many instances happens, in a situation where sometimes the man was the sole winner of the home, and unfortunately the man is no more. Where are you going to fall back to? Where are you going to be? So that is why we here in the South, as women, we don't just sit and fold our hands and watch the men do alone. We do it as well. Because, take for instance, I'm not a divorcee anyway, but for those that, I'm not a widow anyway, but for those that do not have husbands, where their husbands are no more, you get? If they don't, use their hand and do something, they'll be lacking behind. There'll be no food on their table.
Absolutely. But when you walk around, and let's talk about Uyo.
Okay, Uyo.
Are you seeing, because I know what I'm seeing when I walk around Uyo, are you seeing a city of hardworking males and females? Or are we seeing a city of hardworking women?
Women. I am seeing the city of hardworking women.
So what about the men?
The men are always there. Some are doing, some are just.
And that's the topic that you have used style to avoid talking about.
No.
And that's what I was saying.
Some men,
the women have to be strong because the men
are lacking behind or going behind.
And that's why I was asking, is it a good thing?
It's not a good thing.
We've got to the same point. I don't think
it's not a good thing.
Because the thing is that I feel that for a woman, that's not a word that a woman naturally would use to describe herself, because she wouldn't need to be strong like a man. You'd be strong like a woman.
Well, if you are not strong, I'm still on the opinion that if that man is not there, you will suffer most. Yes, you will suffer most. Because sometimes some men don't care about the family. Some cares, so many cares. But what about those that do not care? Are you going to fold your hands and watch your children die of hunger? Are you going to fold your hands and watch your children not going to school like other children? No.
Okay,
you have to do something.
Let me just come in there. I think it's not the idea of the man is there or the man is not there. The women there, especially the Ibibio women, because if I want to do comparison, of the ethnic women, where some part of the Ibibios, like the Uran or Ron, they break off from the ethnic. Right. The Ibibio women just is natural that they want to be independent. Not my.
I don't. One thing I'll tell you, I don't see Ibibio women as independent at all. I see them, maybe they're independent in terms of they work, but they are very, very psychologically dependent on their husband.
What? Depends.
So it depends on what you call as independence. I think that they provide, they help, they support, but I don't think that they have their autonomy. They are very dependent on their husbands for psychologically.
Psychologically?
Yeah.
But what about the economical? As in economical?
No, I'm saying economically they can be independent, yeah.
That is.
But the thing is that I would still say that that's still a type of bondage. Because then you'll get, and I've seen it, a lot of women that are financially independent and actually they're feeding their husbands and their husbands are not doing much because of their psychological dependency, and they think that they must do this and they must do that, which is what I would say as somebody who didn't grow up here, looking at the culture from the outside, would say that's what it looks like.
Well, I don't think the idea of psychological dependence on a man, I don't really get to know how any people or women in the South do that.
Because it's a culture, it's the way that they're raised. When I'm talking about this point, I can only talk about Ibibio ethic and not the wider South. But it's the way that they're raised to make it that their sole importance in life is to literally be a wife and
a mother.
I would even say wife from what I'm seeing from the outside. Valerie and Isaac, stop! Out. Out. If you're talking, you come on camera, out, out, out. Go to the next one.
You see,
So
sometimes some of the men, they subject their wives to much labor because they feel less concerned about the family.
And it's the way it's upbringing. It's
Yes,
really
it's
funny.
a way of upbringing, and that is why some women
They have to compensate.
yes,
They have to
being that they come up from a family that cannot just sit down
They have to
and fold their
compensate.
hands. That, in fact, that would make them to come out of their shell
And that's the thing,
and
it's
look
like,
for what would benefit the family.
it's the identity. That's the thing. What I'm hearing when it's like the women's strong, the identity that one is proposing as a South woman is one of compensating.
Yeah,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
compensating in
Yeah,
how-
like, so
what
for
is-
example, you were saying that if the man is lacking, the woman will come up strong.
Mhm.
So would a woman want that to be her identity? Because like, when you describe what is it like being an Ibibio woman, I'm a strong woman, compensating for the lack.
Sometimes the women, you know, we are all from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
I am from a different family.
Mm.
You are from a different family, and she's from a different family.
Mhm.
Now, it could be that in her own family, the women just sit and, wait for their husband to bring. Now, in my own family, the women stand up and struggle
I
in
would
order to
say,
support their
I would
home.
say, from what I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much how women in the South are, on the whole.
Yes, that's in the average.
As in,
In the average.
yeah, I would
In
say.
the
Would you
average.
agree?
Hmm?
Would you agree?
I would.
On the
I would.
average.
I would agree with our viewpoint that it is
See,
because
Hold on, let's speak.
Excuse me. On the average, you will see that in most families, women come out because their men are not forthcoming.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yes,
That's exactly what I'm saying.
they don't.
And so I'm asking, is it a good thing for your identity to be proud of the identity that you're a compensator for the lack? I don't think that's a good thing.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. But what will you do? It's not.
so how do we correct it?
That's another video. How do you correct it? That's another
How do
video.
we correct
How do
it?
you correct it? That's another
You now
video.
go and talk to your husband, talk to your brother, talk to your
I
uncle.
think
Please don't leave all the work for your
I
husband
think
or for
that
your wife,
the
rather.
way to correct
No.
it is to start with the next generation, because it's very hard for people to change, and
Very hard.
adults it's hard. So the easiest way is to start with the next generation. But unfortunately, I blame women. Women are perpetuating those things, so they've been through that whole system, and they perpetuate it when they have sons, don't they? Like, oh, you're a boy, you don't cook. You're a boy, you don't do this.
Mm.
And then you breed the same thing, don't you?
Yes.
And mothers, there's power in being able to, the hand that rocks the cradle has the power, right?
Yes.
Mm.
And we just hand over that power back. And then we build our identity around compensating.
Exactly. So,
Well,
now,
in my own viewpoint, I will disagree a little bit that it is because men are lacking in this our
Yes.
South. That is why the women feel that they should do things that men don't do in the house. I just think that it is the pride in women that they should also have something, money in their own pocket. Because I know a lot of women around here that their husband is rich, their husband does well, their husband can do many things, but then they just want to go out to do something. Because like my one elderly woman, I think she should be like 90 or 80 something now at the Ibibio axis. That woman, when she was in her 60s, the husband was the headmaster. The children are working in mobile. They used to pay her, but she just like to have her own personal income. So she used to go out fishing. This time around, she couldn't sit
you are this
on the
fishing.
boat.
You like this fishing, oh.
She's a fisher woman.
She couldn't sit on the
Me, I
boat,
like
but she will
farming.
just stand there. She will just stand
Yeah.
where the water will stop here, and she will throw the net to drag some of the fishes
Wow.
and crayfish. No, as simple as she just want to do it for, first of all, maybe to just exercise herself,
yeah,
and to
exactly.
also
And also to
feel the sense
earn
of belonging and
something.
having her own personal
Money.
income. So it's not all about her husband give her everything and the children, but you just want to have money to feed. You know, when you make your own personal money, you have some fulfillment that you can do something
And
on
you'll
your
be
own,
happy.
and you'll be happy. So that's the way I think.
Now, you also asked a question, how do we correct this? I want to say that one of the ways we can correct this, we can start it from our home. Remember, they say charity begins at home.
Right.
Now, for those of us that have male children and also have female children, don't just portion all the house chores to the female children to do. Allow the men to do work at home.
Yeah.
Because by so doing, they will learn and they will not be lazy. Some of those things come out of laziness. It is from the home.
All of them.
It's from the home. Because they were not allowed to work just as
It's
the
not that
women
they were
are
not
doing.
allowed.
You will see some, excuse me, you will see some women, some mothers, they will say, you are a girl, you will get married and you'll be in the kitchen, go and work, go and cook, go and wash plates, go and sweep, while the man or the boy is sitting there.
It's not that they weren't allowed, it's that they were given a mentality that then of entitlement, right? That it is someone else's job, it's the woman's job. So it's not even not allowed.
Yes.
It is, and that's the thing, it's the entitlement. Whatever someone feels entitled at home, whatever message they're getting at home, whatever they're being told by their upbringing, is what they're carrying outside of the home, into their marriage, into the workplace, and that's it. That's just it. That's why I say it's very difficult to correct once someone's an adult. It's easier to go back.
Yes, it's easier to start it from the youth, from the home, from the scratch.
Yeah.
So that could be a solution. If all families can do the same thing, then tomorrow we'll have a better Nigerian or a better man.
Okay, but there is something also I have noticed
Right.
around these south areas of the, let's take particularly the Ibibio women we are talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that topic or that discussion should come in the next day or the next time, or we can
No, say no, say no.
Because there's something that it used to really worry me.
What is it? I'm worried.
Honestly.
Oh God.
The idea of maybe if a father has properties,
Oh
has
yeah.
houses, they
Oh,
will
yeah.
now accrue everything
To
to
the
the
men.
male children.
Okay. Well, firstly,
This really.
what I'd like to say about that. Firstly, that law has changed in Nigeria. It's not legal. However, I've had this argument with a lot of people. It is the law of this country supersedes traditional law. A lot of people don't know that. So therefore, in the village, when they say, a woman is not meant to inherit, that's what they go by. If you take it to court, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't exclude. But the problem is that many, although the law has changed, the mentality hasn't. And many women don't feel empowered to be able to go after what could potentially be theirs. And that's it. I think it's ignorance, because I've actually had a lot of people ask me this question in the last few weeks about this, but no, it's not that way. But the thing is that I think what could put a stop to that is individual families, parents writing wills and apportioning things to their children equally.
Yes.
This male inheritance thing causes problems. People lose their lives, families break up, and all that kind of thing. And women can be put into poverty. So, for example, a man dies and he has several properties. He has a wife and children. When he's dead, before you know it, the brothers push the woman out, fling her away, fling the children, or maybe take the male child and then try and inherit her properties. It happens time and time again. It's kind of like this whole concept of no one's going to come to her aid, not even her own people are going to fight for her corner, you know. So, yeah, I do find that worrying. I don't find it surprising, because I feel that there are a lot of things like that within Ibibio culture. If you compare it to other cultures within, I'm gonna get my neck chopped off for this. But
And
you know what?
also-
I don't mind.
And also in the Ibibio culture or the South, the women or the wives is doing everything at home. You get?
That's why I was asking whether it was a good
Like-
thing to categorize yourself
Like
as strong.
these days, you
Because
know,
isn't that a little bit of a mug? You're getting you like, so you're doing all of the
you go to work,
hard work,
you
and
come
you're doing
back,
everything at home,
yeah,
you're giving birth to the kids,
Yes.
cooking, cleaning.
doing
So
everything,
then it asks
taking the
you-
children to school,
What's the other,
bringing
what's
them
your
back,
counterpart
go
doing?
to work, you come
And
back,
then if
do
you
everything.
and then if you take pride in that to me that makes you an idiot. Because I feel like if you're doing all of those things, you can't be doing anything well. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we are begging our men.
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. You are. I'm not.
We are begging them, please
No, no.
help us at home.
I completely. That's exactly the psychological dependence.
They should help us at home.
You never get change by begging for change. Change doesn't happen by begging.
Okay.
Change happens by making the change.
All right.
And this is what I'm saying. Why would somebody who has been getting the good part of life, having to do nothing, suddenly give it up by you begging? It's not
All
gonna
right.
work. Is it?
So what do we do?
What do we do?
As she said, I think it's about, you know, it's like
Then
when you
you
want
from
to
the
bring
scratch.
in, when you want to make a change, it's not overnight. You can't change grown people.
At all.
Psychologists say that by
At
the
all.
age of 6, a child's mentality is formed, right? You can make tweaks with them. So it's about targeting the new generation and letting the old ones flush out.
Exactly.
So that's it. It's about people that have small children making that change. So it's
But I
not.
think a little bit of correction and maybe campaign or maybe I don't know.
Oh.
But let
You
them
can change some few persons, but you might not change all.
No, but the thing is,
You
but
go
that's-
for a campaign
that's-
that your husband should be
I think that that's.
For attitudinal reorientation.
Or a campaign that your husband should be
Depends
helping
where.
at home, or should help
Depends
at
where.
work, or should
But of
bring him
course,
money,
we
should
can
bring
keep
this.
on talking.
When he knows that this is
Well,
his own
I think-
work that he's supposed to do.
I think, look, I'm not in that situation. I'm not in that situation at all.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a situation where things are not going my way, I'll raise the issue one time and then take action. That might be strike. That might be just don't do it. That's the thing. You're not like, so it's like you're gonna raise a campaign, you're gonna then stop doing it. Isn't that simple?
And
Stop it.
the more you talk, you are reminding me some other things. Some issues comes up in the family where if the wife is always at home doing nothing, by the time the husband goes out and come back, it will be pounding on the woman.
What do you mean pounding?
Why?
What
That's
do you
the
mean?
beating.
Beating?
Yeah,
Well, male.
beating. Because
So-
the woman is at home, not going out and bringing, something in.
Hello? Okay, alright. Perfect. Let's pause. Perfect.
Hello.
Okay. Phone's off. Okay. Right, sit down. You're in big trouble. Okay, are we ready?
All right.
Hello, you're welcome.
So, guys, we have got an Ibibio man here.
Okay.
So some of the things that we were talking about, we're going to ask him. He has literally just walked in through the door. He doesn't know what he's walked into. He came to deliver something to me, and I've just dragged him through the door, and we're going to ask the question. So we were talking about, first of all, beating, right?
Yes,
We want to know
beating, yes.
why they do it.
Yes.
Why
they
do some Ibibio men beat women?
beat
From your-
their wives?
Beat their wives, from your point of view.
You are the kind of man.
Please be audible.
Speak up.
Please
You
speak
are the
up.
kind of the husband that you marry.
Right, okay.
Not someone like
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
who used to be someone.
But why do you think that they do it?
Maybe some. You don't want the wife.
Can you be up a little?
Okay. It depends on what the wife is doing.
Do you think there's any reason
Like
for a man
what?
to
Like
beat
what?
a woman?
Like what? The wife
It's not
is
right.
doing.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not right for a man to beat a woman.
But why do you think they do it?
those that do it at all, why do they do it? Just give us the idea
Those
of
that do
why they
it,
do it.
why do they do it? Why do
Because you are
they
a man, you know why they do it. You get? You are a man, you know why
It depends on
they
the
do it.
man.
Huh?
It depends on the man.
Okay.
So what different reasons do you think a man would do it for?
From the start, before you marry the man, when you guys are like boyfriend and girlfriend, the guy used to beat you.
Yeah.
From the start.
Right.
So you know the kind of person that you are working with.
Yeah,
So you got to quit. If you don't like it,
Okay.
be quit.
yeah, you look for another man. So
Just that.
still like continue.
So it's about
you
choice.
enjoy the beating.
But
So,
what?
so
what
it's
if
a,
I did-
do you
did
think the
things
man
really-
chooses to beat the women?
Do you know that what he's saying? There is a sister that I know. This lady has 3 children with the husband.
Yeah.
The woman testified that, or is it testify or confess? She confessed that the very first day he met the husband,
He beats her.
like today,
Yeah.
they just went out, he told her, and tomorrow they went out, they sat somewhere, they drank mineral and they left. The next day, that's the 3rd day,
Yeah.
the man took her to not eatery, supermarkets. Yes, they went to supermarkets. In that supermarket, she went and picked, because he asked the woman to pick what she likes. The woman went and picked what she loved. Do you know what happened? The slap this man gave to this woman in that supermarket 3 days after they met.
Okay.
And she still went
I know
ahead
she
to
break
marry him.
I told her.
And that's what I'm
I asked her-
telling you, is psychological
I asked her,
dependency.
so she beat you in the supermarket, he
Yeah.
beat you up in the supermarket. She said yes. And so what did you do? She said nothing. I was angry and I left, and he came begging and you went back.
You return back again.
And
And
then
now
you know
she's-
what happened?
You enjoy
It's
it now.
everything, it's everyday thing that
Yes.
this man beats up this
Every
woman.
day.
It's every
And
day.
she's still there.
She 3 children. They have 3 children.
That's how it is.
To the extent that you'll be using mop stick, you know mop stick,
Yeah.
to beat the woman. So you use a mop stick to beat a woman, and after the woman will still come back and sleep with you and cook.
Okay, the other thing that we were talking about is how it appears. Hold on. The other thing that we were talking about is how it appears. Valerie and Isaac! The other thing we were talking about is how it appears that women in the South seem to be working very hard and the men not so much.
I don't know.
Have you noticed that
You
yourself?
should.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
So you have noticed it.
yeah.
Tell them that you've noticed it.
I've noticed.
Because if I say it, they'll be like, you don't even live here. What do you know? He lives here. He's noticed it.
See, sometimes the men, they feel cheated that the women are at home while they go out and source for money to come and feed the
What do
family.
you mean that they feel cheated?
They
That's
feel cheated, that is, they will be jealous of the woman being at home,
being at home doing what?
doing some other house chores.
Okay.
So the men want to be at home and do the house chores?
Sometimes in a situation where the
I don't
woman
get
is not working, listen. Sometimes in a situation where the woman is not working
Okay.
and the man is working, the man will go and come back and begin to abuse the wife. Don't you see your mate outside doing this, doing that?
But if she's raising the children at home, why would you do
Yes.
that?
Yes, with the children at home.
I don't understand what you're saying. If she's at home raising her children, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong, but sometimes some men would want their wife to go out and work just like them.
And why would they want to do that when that means not raising your children and going to work? Who's raising the children? Who's going to raise their children?
When you
You
see,
work and you raise your children as well.
But this is what I'm saying.
when you see the man, you ask.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying jack of all trades, master of none. There's a time and there's a place. When your children are very little, you need to be raising your children. You need to be focusing on your children.
Yes.
And so when you've got men demanding that you work instead of raising your children, that's abuse. That's not preference. That's abuse. No?
Yeah, but first
You
of all,
don't
you
even
should
know
ask him, are you married?
No.
You're not married, so you wouldn't know some of these things we are talking about.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
You should know.
No, it's not true. Men are men, women are women. It's not true. It's not true. As you said,
Before
the
you-
behavior starts during dating. So if that man slapped her during dating, marriage and not being married, they're not
God forbid.
disconnected, right?
God forbid.
Exactly. So a single
From
man
that day,
knows,
it is
right?
over.
I'm not saying that he knows what it's like to be married, but he knows the mindset that a man has when he's looking for a woman and how he picks the woman. Because I don't think it is random that an abusive man picks somebody. I think he knows who he's picking. A woman that's going to take it.
Yes.
So it's very much a man would be able to know. You understand? The guy that slapped the woman, he knew exactly to put a ring on that woman's finger, slapped after 3 days, and she took it. Of course, put a ring on her finger.
And they got married.
The psychological.
And the victim
Why?
continues.
Yeah, and that's why I have an issue with it. That's where.
Drum drums.
But that's where I have an issue with the women. The women have such low self-esteem that they'll put up with it. And again, that's why I took issue with the identity, creating an identity out of the lack and being happy with that.
Yeah.
Strange. No?
We need to correct some of these things.
Why do you think the women put up with that type of behaviour or general bad behaviour?
I don't know.
From a man's
You don't
perspective.
know. I don't want to say. You don't know. I don't want to say.
I may not know.
And what, as a
Before you
man,
marry your wife.
what does it make you think of these women that you
Before
see?
you married your wife did not work. Why didn't you give him work?
Abi? Why
Say that
did you
again?
give him work?
After the marriage?
Mhm.
So give your wife work.
Like what type of
You
work?
want her to work.
Establish her.
To establish
That
her.
what you
Sometimes
mean?
if she does not have a degree,
But why?
in order to go out and
Why-
work,
why-
establish her by
these
giving her
men
a
that
shop
want
to
them-
sell.
Yeah, or you gave him money to start
A
something.
business.
These men that want their women to work, I want to know, why do they want their women to work? I'm not criticising it, but I want to know the different reasons.
Some men want their wife to work so that money will come both sides.
So to help him make more money.
Yeah.
To be able to feed the family and also do other things.
But also in Ibibio culture, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it in the culture that it's meant to be the man's job to provide for his family? So I don't understand how that can be this, like in a culture that says it's the man's job to provide, he's then outsourcing it to the wife. Isn't that like?
I think it's because of the high cost of living that causes all this. Because when I was little, when I was young, growing up, I grew up to see men bearing the main responsibilities of the house.
That's what
like
I did.
caring of
Catering
things, doing
for
things,
the
catering
house.
for their families.
That's
The
what I
women
grew
were-
up with.
Yes, when I grew up with. But as times goes on, things just change. Maybe due to the economical disposition that we find ourselves in this country.
Okay, but then why are we seeing that? And I've noticed it, that when you look at other tribes living in Ibibio land, you don't see that.
Which other tribes?
Other tribes of people from other parts of Nigeria who live in Ibibio land, I can almost notice them because they stand out because they're not practicing this.
They don't have that blood that they have
No,
here.
no. I mean, they stand out because there seems to be more equality amongst them.
Which set of people? Is it the Igbos? Is it the
I'm
Yorubas?
not-
Which part?
It's not
She's
one
trying to say
specific.
that she observed this thing being dominant with the Ibibio's men.
Yes, and
That-
even in Ibibio land with the same economic situations, those tribes, and it's not one particular tribe, it is different tribes, Benue, in Yorubas, in many others, they don't seem to have this type of behaviour here. So if we're putting it down to economic
Are you
factors
sure?
here,
Sometimes they
yes,
have it,
yes.
you wouldn't know because you are not there.
No, but you know the thing is, I observe it to the point where I can
You
say,
observe it.
Have
but
you
you are not
traveled to
there.
Yoruba
We-
land now,
Mm.
of course
currently?
I have. We've observed a phenomenon.
It's
Do you
very
remember-
common in Yoruba.
Do you know something? Obong and I, this is someone, I actually know Obong quite well. we observed, we're not going to talk about what we observed, but we observed a phenomenon. I first of all told him about it. I don't think he believed it until he saw it. I remember that man in the shop, I said, "You are from Anambra?" And he said, "Yes, how did you know?" I knew he wasn't from where we were from by this behaviour. It's that obvious. To someone that's not from here, I can pick out because the behaviour is very different to the point that you can know. Yeah. And so the thing is that, yes, I've spent more time actually in Yoruba land than I have here. And I didn't notice this inequality, no.
Okay. Inequality.
No.
What you've noticed is around
It's the only place in the world that I've noticed it, and it shocked me. Yeah.
It's here in Ibibio.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Then
that
we
is
have to
why we
pray
are
about
having
this.
this discussion.
Then we have to pray.
But I think, do you know what I think? I
It's
think
not about prayer.
it's not about prayer.
Yes.
It's not about prayer.
Also prayer.
No, it's not about prayer. I think a lot of times the women are very in denial about how bad it is.
Yeah.
And I don't think they take it seriously or themselves seriously.
Well, it is unusual because I personally I don't like it, but I think we should do. Well, let's say campaign for attitudinal change
You know,
or
the
campaign
You can't.
or a call for repentance.
No.
A call for change.
No. You can't beg somebody to change their attitude. You've got to create circumstances where they have to change their behaviour. So begging, campaigning, it's not going to cuss it.
So
It's what you
So what
do.
do we
It's
do?
about not accepting that behaviour. So don't pick up the heavy bags if you don't want to lift. Simple as that.
Okay.
And re-educating.
Okay.
Re-educated.
So
And also
you
train
can't
from
be
And also train from youth.
change from youth. You can't be somebody who complains that you're doing everything in the house and you continue to do it. You've got to drop one bag. So if it's that you feel you're doing too much, stop doing too much. Stop begging someone to allow you not to have to do too much.
Okay. So we come to.
Grandma, you annoying me. You're trying to finish the video. You can just
if it's too long.
no,
just use it again.
grandma. You can just cut it from your video, but you're stopping us from using it.
No. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping.
No, but you keep on ending the video, and it's like
have to adjourn this.
We have to adjourn. We're not finishing.
no. Then I'm not going to do this type of video with you again. No, you need to be able to discuss, and this I'm not going to use all of this. I'm
Okay.
going to cut out the important bits. But when conversation's flowing and people try and control it, you're not going to get the good ideas. I mean, he may have something to say.
At least we have really digged.
I don't
into
think
the
so.
matter very well.
I don't.
She's not satisfied.
No, what I'm not satisfied. I think it comes across badly because how it ended is like, oh well. Then think about who are our watchers. Who are our watchers? Who are your watchers? Who are your watchers? Who are the majority of your watchers?
Yes.
Who are they?
Our friends,
But where? Which countries?
Nigerians.
They're not
Watch
Nigerians
The
only.
majority of viewers are not
Nigerians.
Nigerians. They're outside.
Outside.
Yeah, and so having it doesn't look good because we can cut this out, but you guys are used to something, you can't see what it's like. It's like when a pig swims in water, you can't see it until if they're swimming in dirty water, they don't know they're dirty. But when someone is looking in, they can see it. And so when we've discussed these issues and we end with, oh well, it doesn't look good.
Okay.
On us. So I feel like we stick to our points, but it's kind of like we don't end it like, oh well, that's fine. Because it's like we've mentioned about abuse, right?
Yes.
But this was a problem, an issue, and in every problem there must be
A solution.
Yeah.
What can be done to correct or checkmate this thing so that it will not extend to the next generation?
What do you think?
It's a good idea.
As a man,
Because
you
he's
don't
not
know.
married yet.
But why was he as a man? He wouldn't, because he's not suffering from it. Why would you come from have a solution to something that you're not suffering from?
Yes.
It's women that have to solve it.
Exactly.
And I think it's the two things. One, is to the women educate their children.
Children.
And number two, stop being a part of the problem. Stop doing what you don't want to do.
Okay.
Because if somebody wants to get you to work and look after the children and you don't work, how are they going to force you?
Okay. Just don't start it.
Don't
Just
do
don't
it.
start it.
Don't do it.
Just like I said.
It's about enabling. Have you heard of that? The concept of enabling somebody, picking up. That's it. The act of compensating. And that's why I was saying, is it a good thing that our identity is compensating? Because it's enabling. It's encouraging the person to do more of what you don't want them to do.
Yeah. So,
in a nutshell,
but don't forget that the Ibibio women in the southern region of Nigeria, they are great women.
they are great
And,
women. Would you agree? They are great women, and we
No,
can
no, no,
never,
let's see what he
we
says.
can
Would
never
you
lag
agree?
behind.
See, yeah, they carry last
We
though.
need to carry last at all.
Would you
carry last.
agree
Yeah.
that the Ibibio women are great women?
And they are strong.
Yeah.
Are you
They
saying
can
that
be
because
helpful.
your face? I don't. He doesn't even. Are you going to marry an Ibibio woman?
Why?
Why?
I'll marry the woman.
Yes.
He said he's going to marry.
Okay.
So he's going to marry an Ibibio
And some of
woman.
the things we are discussing here, positively, you're going to take it down to your marriage with an Ibibio woman. You will not subject her and be the Lord. She becomes your housemaid or whatever.
The wife cannot be a housemaid.
Mhm. So you have to be
You have
supportive
to treat your wife as a wife.
As your own mate.
Yeah.
as your own blood, because the same blood that flows in you flows in her too. So you must always
She's
feel that.
understanding it. She's okay
Yeah,
with it.
we
Sorry?
You must
Are
always,
you okay with it?
you must
What?
always know that
With what we are saying so
Whatever
far?
that-
I don't agree with the same blood. I believe
whatever
that.
that we pain you, we also pain her.
Yeah.
Stop.
Mhm.
I don't actually agree. That's how it's supposed to be. If a man loves his wife, if he doesn't, then it's not.
For sure.
It's that simple.
Yeah,
Alright.
for sure.
So that's it, guys.
So that's it, guys.
So that's it, guys.
I'm sure you enjoy it.
That's it. Hey, my good food, my heart. Hey, I get my family. Hey, my food is very food.
But you see, there's more things I have to say. Me as
I will
an
be able to
outsider,
get a new
do you know where? Do you know where? Do you know this?
47 minutes.